Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to bring this to your attention about the continuing protests in Egypt, and I ran across this article, and it kind of goes along with that other video that I made, which is called Egypt's SHTF, and this article's title is "With Police Absent, Egyptians Arm Themselves to Protect Neighborhoods." I'll read just a little bit of it for you. It says, Cairo. When Egypt's police melted from the streets of Cairo this weekend, the people stepped in. Civilians armed with knives, axes, golf clubs, firebombs, metal bars, and makeshift spears watched over many neighborhoods in the sprawling capital of 18 million this weekend, defending their families and homes against widespread looting and lawlessness. The thugs had exploited the chaos created by the largest anti-government protest in decades, and the military failed to fill the vacuum left by police. On Saturday, the army sent out an appeal for citizens to help. That is really, really interesting, that the military is asking civilians to help. And I'm going to have a comment on that in a little bit. Another excerpt from this, which I found really interesting. It says, right down here, it says, gangs of armed men attacked jails, sending thousands of inmates into the unpoliced streets. And I highlighted this one here because this is what a lot of people in the prepper community have been talking about. Neighborhood guardians set up metal barricades and stopped cars, questioning them about their destinations and street addresses, and sometimes searching them. With many roads blocked, drivers went the wrong way on largely empty one-way streets to get around. If you guys know Yankee Prepper, I think most of you do, you'll know that he advocates something like this. And this is it's a really good point he came up with. And it's happening in Egypt. He spoke about making your own green zone if something were to happen. And that's exactly what these people are doing. They're setting up their roadblocks. They're questioning people as they come into their neighborhoods. Lucky for us, we're able, even those of us who live in horrible states like New York, where I'm still able to get my long guns pretty easily. Very easily. I can just walk into a store, get my background check, go home with a shotgun or a rifle. Handguns are a bit of a problem, but a handgun isn't going to be as important as a rifle. So I'm lucky that way. These guys have axes and golf clubs, fire bombs that they've made. There's one part of the article here, I can't find it right now, but they're hiring Bedouins that have guns, and they're hiring them to protect their neighborhoods, and they're going around and they've formed their own police and their own security. So this is a blueprint. This is how things are going to happen in a modern society. And another thing that, I don't want to keep quoting Yankee Prepper, but he's one of the preppers that I watch quite a bit. He says that this isn't going to be, if God forbid this ever happens here, an SHTF situation happens here, and there's all this lawlessness, you don't have to worry about the military. The military isn't going to be your enemy. This isn't going to be the Civil War. It's not going to be the American Revolution. You're not going to go up against the American Army. In fact, as you can see here, even though they're protesting the government, it's the government-controlled military that's saying to the citizens, hey, go out there and protect your own neighborhoods. So what they are fighting are these gangs of thugs, these prisoners that came out of the prison system. And that's the reality of it. And I want you guys to watch this unfold. See what happens. And use it. Use the information that you gather from this. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? What did they need? There's another article here. Now, I don't want to keep reading articles to you guys, but I'll just read the title. It says, Egyptians stock up on food, water as protests rage. It's a little awkward in the way that's written, but that's prepping. But it's a little too late for those people who are prepping now. Things have already hit the fan, and now they need food and water. So, I was talking to my sister, and not the liberal. She is a little bit in the middle, and she was telling me, oh yeah, it's a good idea, you've got food and water. I said, yeah, I need, I've got guns and ammo. And she was like, all right, don't be a crazy person now. And that's how some people view prepping. They view it as, oh, you're just being crazy. And this is happening now. This is happening in 2010. And we really need to look at this and look at, this isn't crazy stuff. This isn't crazy talk. This is reality. Like I said before, it happened in Katrina. It happened in '92. You've got riots in the street. Where are you going to go shopping? And how are you going to defend yourself? That's extremely important. Self-defense in this situation. And sorry about that, guys. My battery ran out. So as I was saying, this stuff is important, and you can't sit there and think that it's not going to happen in America, and you can't sit there and call people crazy because they're preparing. Those of you who have seen my other videos know that I'm from New York, and in New York City recently, we've had a number of snowstorms here. We've had 7, and we're looking at an 8th. New York City had its very mini SHTF situation when there was a snowstorm. The city failed to clean up the streets, and that little tiny error caused death. There were people who had heart attacks and they couldn't go to the hospital. There's one man who lost his wife because of it, and that's New York City, and that's just a snowstorm. Think about a serious natural disaster. Think about a serious economic collapse. Think about a riot. There were mini riots, and well, I wouldn't call them mini riots, but there were protests, and there were very angry people out in the street after that happened. And there are people in the streets now who are of Egyptian descent out in New York City. God knows, you don't know if that can erupt into something. We have to be mindful of these things, and this isn't something crazy because the federal government has told us, have 72 hours worth of food in your home, food and water. Even they understand that this 72 hours I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend you have more than that. I think the guideline is at least 72 hours. And New York City, if you visit their website at newyorknyc.gov, they have, which I found really funny. I was reading through it. I might make a video on that and how ridiculous that is. But they were saying, have some first aid kits and a few gallons of water just in case something happens. Of course, this being New York City, there's no mention of firearms or anything like that. I don't know how it is out in places like Texas and other cool states like that. I wonder if they have warnings out there and they say, protect yourself. Have a handgun out on you at least, at the very least. That's not what they ask us to do. They ask us to have some water and to have some first aid kits, and that's just not good enough. So watch this unfold, guys. Watch what happens. Learn from their mistakes and emulate their successes. And the roadblocks are a great idea. Understanding the reality of what can happen. Understanding looters and understanding thugs and gangs. That's going to be really important. So keep your eye on this story. I'm going to leave some links to these 2 stories in my comments page, and I'll see you guys later.